Hi, welcome to Christine's Corner. Glad you can make it today. My guest today is Angella Watkis Francis. I hope I said that correctly.
Angella Watkis Francis.
Okay. She is our author of this book called The Power of Marrsing, Tapping into Our Individual Consciousness. So I'm going to leave this for you for here. So the power of Marrsing is, what is Marrsing?
So Marrsing is a term that I created, and I took MAR from the word marriage, the first part of the word marriage, meaning our commitments in marriage, in the relationship. And the SING I took from the single individual self, not as a relationship status, just who we are within ourselves as a person when we get into a relationship, because a relationship is really two single persons who come together
Right.
to make that. So that's how I created the word Marrsing.
How long did it take to write the book?
Well, you know, I actually started seriously writing it, I'd say, in the fall of 2018. And the initial publication date was supposed to be October of 2020. But of course, with COVID and so many more delays after that, it's now coming out 13 months after the initial publication date.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but writing a book, it just felt like I've written this book like maybe 50 times over. The number of corrections and read over and cleaning out.
Right.
It's such a journey doing it. But you know,
kudos to you for doing it. Everyone says I'm going to write a book, but you did it.
Yes. And I tell you, if they need someone to cheer them on, I'll be there with them, because being through the process and understanding how we go, you have to keep that goal in mind. You really want to have a finished product, and so you know that'll be your a way to just keep you going, and knowing that if you don't write a whole chapter a day, if you write for maybe set yourself writing like maybe 30 minutes per day or an hour a day, and that's what I started doing after a while, because our lives are so busy that if we don't dedicate and carve out those time for the things that we really want to accomplish and really things that really are important to us, then we lose it. And so I made sure that I had at least half an hour to an hour a day that I'll just write. And I'll just write nonstop. As the thoughts come in my head, I would just write them. And then all the editing and stuff will be done later on. So
that's good theory. My professor said that if you can just write an hour a day, he said, and there's 365 days in a year, so there you go.
That's right. And one of the things that actually ended up pushing me to it, I went to the Bay Path Leadership Conference in 2019. So even if I started writing it in the fall, 2019 in the spring, and I stood in line and spoke to Mel Robbins. You know who Mel Robbins is?
No, I'm sorry.
She's an author, and she used to be on television, had a TV show, and she wrote the book, The 5-Second Rule, that you have to do something by the time you think about it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up and do it. If you wait later than that, you won't do it. Or you'll take you such a long time to do it, you'll delay and procrastinate. But you got to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to get it. And she said to me, I went in line for her to sign her book, and I said, oh, I'm writing a book, and your concept is, so resonates with me. And she said, well, when are you going to write? I said, I hope to. She said, hope to? Don't hope to it. Set a date with me right now. So I set the date of October 31st, which is going to be 2019, the end of that. I tried, and I came to a point where it could have been almost finished, but not quite. So that was something that helped to push me through to get it accomplished too.
I did show everyone this amazing book. I love the cover of it.
Thank you.
These two people here. I'm assuming that's something to do with your book. So tell us what the book is about.
So the book is really about relationships and how we show up as individuals in our relationship. It's really based on the concept that we within ourselves, whatever we bring into the relationship, that's what we will experience. So no matter what our partner is doing, we can't say, oh, they're doing that, so I'm not going to be happy, or I'm not going to be experiencing this. What we have to do is dig into our deep consciousness, bringing that conscious awareness to what we do, our patterns, our behaviors, the thoughts we think, the actions, the behaviors. All of those are what feeds the energy of the relationship. And so we have to be mindful and conscious of what we are doing, what the energy that we're generating, all those vibrational forces that are coming together when we are in a relationship with an individual. another person. And we as our individual self have to check those. And once we check those and we know that we're here to serve each other, because one of the things I wrote about in the book too is that relationships are not about giving and taking. They're really about sharing and serving. Because when we talk about somebody who's a friend, and I'll go off on all this too, someone is a friend, when we talk about our friend, we usually say, you know what, my friend did that for me. You know, and that's what made them so valuable as a friend, and make the relationship so much stronger, because you say, oh, my friend did that to me. You know, I wasn't feeling so well and my friend did that to me. It's never usually about, you know, what I can take from my friend, what I can take from my friend. That doesn't really form good relationships.
No.
So it's really about sharing and serving who we are. And it's when we create that space within ourselves and that thing to share, that we have more than enough for ourselves. When we look into ourselves, digging for greatness, and when we have more to share, then that's when we can have such great relationship with someone else, because we're not looking to take something from them. We have enough to share with them and to serve them for what they need.
Yes, so true, so true. Do you have a degree in psychology or anything, or is this just based on your own life experiences?
Well, you know what? I could really say it's a self-knowledge degree, because I've been studying psychology. I've had an interest in psychology and just how we as humans, the psyche of the human and the mind, our mind works and our thoughts work, and what are the things that will let a human being do something else and another one just, you know, cringe at it. It's amazing how that happens, and I've always been fascinated how we function in this world. Some are able to do things that are, you know, so aggressive. Some are able to do some things that are so passive. But what ticks in each and every one of us? And I've always had an interest in that. So even though I don't have a formal degree in psychology, I've always had an interest. I've read a lot of psychology books, did a lot of research on psychology, and so I really feel comfortable, you know, really coming from and including a lot of that psychological aspect, of the psychology aspects in the book as I was writing it.
What is some of your life experiences that helped you write this?
My life experiences was mostly based on in my relationship, in my marriage, and going through and see how both of us, as we were going through the years, because, you know, a lot of young girls, I'm not sure if men do, but talking to a lot of young girls, we have this whole fantasy of this fairy tale ending, you know. We're going to get married, we're going to have children, we're going to have a family. Yes, a Cinderella, you know. We're going to
prince will come.
Yes, our prince will come and take us off into, you know, this land of happiness and,
right.
and doing all of that. And as I was going through my marriage, I realized that I knew going in that marriage what I wanted to accomplish. I knew I wanted to have a family, and I wanted us to live and build this this family, this whole lineage that will continue on for years. And then we, you know, old age, you know, would just sit and just relax and reminisce about all the days, the years gone by, the kids we have, the grandkids. And when that didn't come to fruition, where you know, we're not going to live into old age together, and I was left with this whole healing process. So I started looking back and see, you know, through the years, why does one marriage last a year, another one 3 years, another one 5 years, 20 years? But here we are, we're going to our third decade. You know, it's almost 30 years that, you know, things started to fall apart in a way that it showed that it wasn't going to be the living into old age aspect of it. And so after that was all over, and I realized that when you go through these situations where something that you've built for all these years is now being pulled apart, then you're left to heal that pulling apart. And through the healing, you have to go back and look at some all the things that happened. Not all, but most of the things that happened. How did we get here? How could I have prevented it for us from being here? You know, what happened? And so in looking through all those, and I used to journal too, throughout the years. And so going through that and reading all my journal entries and just being able to move forward, I said, there's some beautiful things here. Another aspect of it too that what encouraged me to write this book too was that a lot of the friends and families that we were around have always admired our relationship. And I just honestly thought that we had a good relationship overall. You know, there were things that I could look at and say, we're all individuals and we all make mistakes. So here we are. We're going to just, you know, deal with that and then we'll keep going on. But when the relationship was over and the marriage was over, so many friends and family said, oh my gosh, you guys we really liked you guys as a couple, you know. And I looked at it and I said, well, there got to be something good about this, you know, that I can really share with someone else. And so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to take the healing parts of it, take the good parts of it, and being able to leave an impact to help someone else go through a similar experience, you know, and figure if I could help someone else with what I've gone through, then, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is this, did you write the book to help other people?
I did. Initially, I did. Because you know what? It started out, honestly, it started out as this, you know, the letting off of the steam, all the things that you want to say. It started out like that. And as I was writing it and releasing all those, and when I'd go back and read them, I said to myself, you know what? I don't think I really want to put this out into the world. I don't want to put out anything negative out into the world because that follows us.
Right.
And it was one thing I wrote in the book about that negative energy. It sometimes keeps multiplying in ways and shows up in ways that we don't know. And I was determined that no, I'm going to have to find something good that I can take from this that will be able to help others on their journey. And so that's why I did. I created something that they could use as a positive energy and use some of the God force, God powered things that I used throughout the years to just keep me sane and keep me happy and just continue on the path of being able to continue the relationship.
So it's God related or God based behind all this?
Yes. For me, and I said in the beginning of the marriage, and ever since I was a kid, I've always had this strong spirituality within me. And I decided when I got married that God had to be a part of that marriage. Because I realized, even through psychology and understanding how we as human beings operate, I realized that when we communicate from a human to human experience, we tend to not be so considerate of someone else's differences. So if someone is different from us, we might tend to want to criticize them, not want to be around them. But when we invite and when we let ourselves be guided by that God force energy, that God powered energy, knowing that He created us all and we're all beautiful within. We're all different, and so our difference is a part of our greatness. And so I know that I had to invite Him into this relationship, or invite Him, let Him be a strong presence and a guiding force within the relationship as I go through. There's my verse that I carry in my head all the time. I mean, I carry a couple Bible verses in my head to really guide me. But one of the ones that has always just anchored me in a way that I repeat several times per day, especially when I'm going through challenges, is Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6, to trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not on my own understanding. Yeah, so yes, God has always been a guiding force for me.
I don't know the Bible as I should, but that's good that you can quote.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't know the Bible as well as I should either, but I realize that I can't know it all. And so I just grabbed the two pieces, a couple verses that will really, really resonate with me and really guide me as I go through my daily life and whatever challenges I'm going through.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just beaming and have this glow about you too that just lights up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Whenever I talk about God, it's just it just really anchors me and just gives me this extra energy, extra burst of positivity that I know that no matter what happens in life, He's gonna guide me and protect me. And even sometimes when we don't understand what's going on, it's about my publisher always kept saying trust the process. Well, God is saying continue to trust me, and I'll guide you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a website?
Yes, I have a website. It's marssinglife.com.
Oh. Yeah. So if anybody want more information, that can connect with you, resonate something that's clicking with them, they can get more information by going to your website. Again, is
Yes, marsinglife.com.
Oh, okay. I have to bring up your book again, but is there some excerpts that you can read to us that?
Yes, you know, what I'd like to read is about, because one of the things is a basic thing about getting into a relationship is knowing who we are, knowing our value. And so I created a concept in the book. A part of it is about our dig. I call it deep inner gratitude.
Oh,
And it's really, and what I like to share with our guests and share with you too that I do throughout the day, a part of the dig that I think everyone can do and we can help them on their way. I call it the Marrsing Moment of Gratitude, MMOG.
oh,
And the Marrsing Moment of Gratitude is really, you find something throughout the day that will nudge you and let you know that, you know, it's time to stop and take a deep breath. Because when we're working, when we're so busy, it's amazing that we don't realize that we haven't taken a deep breath, a full breath. You know, we breathe that shallow breathing for the whole day.
right.
And what I've decided to do for me personally, and everyone I think can, you know, choose whatever they want. But for me, if I'm working on the computer, if I'm working on a clock, and I see the digits turn to 3, whether it's 111, 1111, you know,
Mine is
223.
333. Comes up a lot.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
So whenever I see that, I stop. Even if I'm on the phone speaking with somebody, I usually ask them to just give me a minute. And I stop, and I've started incorporating deep breath, 3 deep breaths. I go, and I usually use the same Marrsing at the beginning or sing at the end, and take those deep breaths just to, you know, and that really regulates the body, get you into a different state. And then I just think about something that I'm really, really grateful for. And sometimes it's just the simple leg, the leg that let us walk, you know, this morning, you know, simple, just the eyes that I'm allowed to see, that I'm seeing something with.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Um,
Moment of gratitude. And so, yes, the dig that I would go ahead and read from is about a deep inner gratitude.
Okay.
So I'll just read a short part from that, and it comes from chapter 16 in the book. And it says, "We have greatness within. Do the dig. We cultivate harmony in our relationships by planting seeds of honesty and authenticity. Honesty within ourselves with a willingness to discover, reflect, and own who we are. Our transformational journey starts with uncovering the authentic self. This journey unfolds the inner story of who, what, why, and when, and how the threads of our experiences, relations, and cultural influences weave the fabric and create the temperament, the individual self, of who we are as a partner or spouse. And a Marrsing dig helps us to discover what pains us, heals us, and feeds us from the inside."
wow. I love that.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. And one other thing, Christine, if I'd like to read quickly also, is what I call, it's about living that Marrsing life. As I said, Marrsing, in everything that we do, in order, repetition, we have to, right? We eat, sleep every day. We eat, sleep every day. Because if we don't sleep, then we lose out, right? So in life is about doing the same things towards what we want to achieve. And we want to achieve a healthy life, and we do things that are healthy. So three of the things I take out of this that is part of the Marrsing concept is that we live intentionally, so that we have a purpose that we're living towards, and we love consciously about the power, how we feel empowered within ourselves, and sharing generously. And so one of the things I say for live intentionally, that I will open to the flow of life's opportunities and possibilities that feed my purpose. And to love consciously, I will allow the positive energies of affection and empathy to flow through me by acknowledging my emotions and being aware of the patterns in my life and relationships. And share generously. I will create ways to be of service. I will seek out positivity and practice kindness.
Wow. That's definitely words to live by.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I really want to, this Marrsing concept is really about helping us go through life in a way that we value ourselves. We value ourselves enough to have enough to share with someone, so that if we're in a relationship with someone and they leave, we're not leaving worthless. We still have enough, because we have cultivated enough of our greatness that within us, our value that we have within us, to share with someone else. And that is such a beautiful thing when we know our value, because we don't allow someone else to determine our worth for us.
Yes, because you listen to what they say, and you go by what they say, and you use that, and it can lead you down the wrong path. And maybe later that person will think, why did I think that? This is really right. So you really need to do your own valuation.
Yes. Because when you're buying a business, hey, they do their valuation of their assets. You're an asset. You're an asset within yourself. And if you don't know all the things that you have inside, you're going to be left open to someone else to define and determine that for you. So you want to do that.
Yeah, your self-worth.
Yes.
Trying to find your self-worth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what it is.
So that's great that you have this book, and that you did all the work that you did on it. I love the cover. It's great.
Thank you.
Who is the publisher?
The publisher is Publish Your Purpose, PYP Press, out of Connecticut here. It's a local publisher, even though they have authors all throughout the world, different countries and throughout the state. But it's I happen to find her, PYP, Jen T. Grace.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you have hobbies that you do besides writing books?
Oh, so some of the hobbies I do that I go with the life concept is actually this jewelry I like, because I like shiny things. I do jewelry. I do earrings too. The bracelets that I do, because I figure, when we're happy and have our good energy flowing in us, it's good to, dress up ourselves and some little things that we do. And some of the things too that I do, because I like shoes too. So I created these Marrsing shoes to go with the brand, which is, I think will help people just step into their purpose. I call them purpose shoes because they're comfy and just have you just step in life and just go lightly with a positive energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great that you have more than just writing. You have other things, and everyone should have hobbies to get you off when you're thinking, your inner critic.
Yes, that's right.
Susan would say.
Susan would say the inner critic,
Yeah.
right? Right. Susan, or as we're thriving. So this is the part of this whole thriving aspect of moving from that one aspect as we go through, all the journeys that we're on, the journeys that we've been on, and continue as thrivers.
Yes.
Yeah, you and I are thrivers.
Yes.
Yeah, we're thrivers, Christine.
Definitely thriving. I probably wouldn't be, as you said, here if it wasn't for life things that happen.
Yeah, the events. So things happen sometimes just to put us on a different journey. And, that's why we do that.
Is there anything else more that you can read to us? That you said tapping in our individual consciousness.
So yes, what I'll do a quick thing about the Marrsing steps that we do, and one is to identify and acknowledge and own the true person inside. All right, so these are steps for the Marrsing day, and declare, state, and reiterate, or personal I am statements. And this is where I am statements is really where we tell the world about ourselves when we speak. I am beautiful, I am, happy, I am sad, or I am statement. Once it begins with I am, we're putting so much energy behind that. So we have to be much more conscious when we say I am, that it's really something positive and we're not putting something negative out into the world. I'm very, very getting more conscious about it. I mean, I'll do it, I'll start sometimes and then I'll say, wow,
It's hard to say I am anything positive if someone you've lived with has always given you negative.
That's right.
And then you don't feel self-worth.
That's true. But then when you do the dig and know your value, that helps too. And that's why I wanted them to do the dig. This is right up part of the dig where we identify and own the true person inside. So once you've owned who you are, then you can say, I am.
Right.
I am, and just good energy behind it. And so we'll leave the other ones. Acknowledge and influence our beliefs and identify and express what we desire.
Wow. Well, thank you for coming. It's The Power of Marrsing. Yeah. By Angella Watkis Francis.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Christine. This has been a pleasure.
Oh, this has
really
been a pleasure.
We are thriving together.
Yes.
Thank you.
And your website for more information again.
Yes, it's marrsing.life.
Okay.
MARRSING life.com.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And thank you for coming to watching Christine's Corner. Love you.